Yeah, you might think I'm a little crazy, and you wouldn't be wrong. Yeah, well, we're going to look into this all when people come on, when people sign on.
Should be putting that up there.
Well, I got to go over here because oh, there we go. We've got a bit of light here. I'm in the dark. Wait for someone, see if people want to sign on, but they might not. Oh, we've got a viewer. And good evening. Welcome to the live. We'll wait for a few more to come in first, and then you're going to get exactly what I think about tonight's game. So I imagine there's one or two of me have watched on TV at home. Any thoughts? Was never a penalty. I don't understand where his hands are meant to be. Well, to be honest, I couldn't see it where I was. It looked a bit of a shock. But it's a bit devastating, really, to be honest. So, where do we go from here? I mean, how many defeats now is that in a row? You know, the question is, it's a devastating defeat in the last, in added time, a devastating defeat penalty-wise. Cambridge were average, but yeah, I agree. But actually, when you look at the balance of play, we actually played performance-wise, not defensively, but performance-wise and going forward and attack-wise and footballing-wise, we played better actually on Saturday against MK, attacking-wise. Might sound stupid because we lost 5-1, but we actually created way more chances, way more opportunities. Tonight we created barely 2 chances, just the one, I think. And in the second half where we came close, apart from that, Cambridge missed 4 good chances in the game. Well, they had 4 good chances and scored 1 off a penalty. You know, we've got to thank Cox for the saves. Cambridge certainly dictated the play a lot more than we did. We battled hard and we probably deserved a point through the battling alone. But again, it's another defeat. And we concentrated well virtually till the end, you know, which we didn't do on Saturday. That was a big difference. But it's still the same thing, the same result. We've lost. And I don't know what the answers are. I don't think anybody does. But I'm looking at the facts now and the figures. I'm looking at the facts and the figures of Michael Appleton. And we've won 8 games. And we've lost 22. I don't know how many in a row that we've actually lost. But the win percentage is 20.5%. Gareth Ainsworth last season had a win percentage of 22.7 tonight. Yeah, no, to be honest, they did battle. They didn't perform as well, attacking wise, and they didn't perform as well with the ball. But they did battle, they concentrated, they scrapped, and they deserved at least a point tonight. Saturday was just embarrassing the way they defended, but they actually played better football on Saturday. So it doesn't matter, we try and tighten it up, we still lose. But we're better off playing sort of this way where we do scrap rather than try and attack, I guess. I mean, that's a lesson learned. Um, so, yeah, well, I've been looking. Lucas was much better. Of course, yes, most definitely. He was ripped apart on Saturday, but it mostly was counter-attacks. If you watched the game Saturday, it was counter-attacks. Yeah, the Appleton in or out thing, well, that's what I want to talk about more so. We've lost a game very narrowly, 1-0 tonight. Well, it's another defeat. And the win percentage for Mr. Appleton is 20.5%, which is 2% less than Gareth Ainsworth, who only had 22.7%. If you look at Matt Taylor, now this is kind of worrying now, but he had a 34% win ratio. Believe it or not, Matt Taylor has a far better record than Appleton. Cottrell had, in fact, Matt Taylor had a better record, win percentage record, than Steve Cottrell. It's a fact, it's written down. John Askey had a win percent record of 28.6. Paul Hurst the first time around was 49.5. Mickey Mellon overall win percentage ratio of 42.4. Yeah, Mike Jackson, well, he wasn't in charge of that many games, but his win percentage ratio is the only one that's lower than Michael Appleton's. But then again, Mike Jackson was only temporary in charge and only took part in 19 games. Paul Simpson 34.8, Gary Peters 34.5, Jimmy Quinn 40.6, Kevin Ratcliffe had a win percentage ratio of 31%. The facts and figures are right here in front of me. Jake King even had a win percentage ratio of 29.2. Yeah, well, it was never a penalty. I heard that he was on. I couldn't quite see it from where I was, but I heard that. So yeah, Fred Davis, 32% win ratio. John Bond, 34.7. Asia for 29.1. Ian McNeil, 26%. All these managers have a way better. You even go back to like Leslie Knight and Harry Potts, Walter Rowley, Arthur Rowley had a 39%. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got one. Maurice Evans. Well, he wasn't in charge of as many games. 21.9% in the 70s. But that's still better than Michael Appleton's 20.5. So Michael Appleton has the worst win percentage ratio of any football manager managing Shrewsbury Town and managing over 20 plus games. So it's 39 games. So yeah, all these managers managed over, the ones I've mentioned managed over more games anyway than Appleton, apart from Mike Jackson, who was just temporary. So there you have it. He's the worst manager since after World War II at Shrewsbury Town. Should have gone after Bristol Rovers. Absolutely should have gone. Absolutely should have gone. Absolutely, he should be gone. You know, he shouldn't be here. But there it is. It's up to, decisions need to be made. Is it an emergency? I believe it is now. Emergency situation. I'm just grateful at the moment that there are 3 more sides worse than us in the league. But one of those sides beat us 3-0 at home. Yeah, Bristol Rovers. And we've got to play them away, yeah? And we've got to play Crawley away, who are a point above us. We've got to play Newport away. Thankfully we don't have to play Harrogate again. We scraped the win against them, and it was a scrape. You know, we weren't brilliant against Harrogate. We had to rely on him going down to 10 men and we had to rely on a long range effort to put the ball in the back of the net. So let's make things clear here. We're in a lot of trouble. And I don't know how we're going to change it or get out of this one. Janaka, yeah, he looked good. And Cox looks good as well. So, well, he was my man of the match anyway. Was Matt Cox? I thought he made some really good saves and kept us in the game. You know, if it wasn't for those saves, it might not have looked as good as the scoreline did. Might have been over a lot sooner, and might have collapsed, and it might have been another 5-1. But fair play to Cox, he stopped that happening. That 1-on-1 save in the first half was critical at that point of how the game was going to turn out. And unfortunately, luck went against us. That's 2 penalties in a row now. 2 dodgy penalties in a row. It wasn't a penalty Saturday, and by the sounds, everybody who's seen it, it wasn't a penalty tonight. So, can anybody tell me what's going on with these decisions we get going against us? Clueless was man of the match, never stopped working hard. Well, that's the thing. If you've got players that have quality, then you want to play them in the positions that they are quality in. You don't want to be playing them out of position where they can't use their strengths, do you? So, clues, yes, play him in the middle. And somebody's just popped up and said, is Joe Davis there? I wonder who just asked, is Joe Davis there? Actually, Joe wants to say hello, Edward. There you go, say hello. Joe said hello. Right, we've got STFC Harry. I think it was a pen. I can see the argument both ways, but my first instinct was that it was a pen. On replay, I still think so. So Harry says it was a pen. Jonesy Lad says it isn't. Roland and the chief executive can't make a decision. They can't make a decision about anything at the moment, can they, really? Let's be honest, they're getting it all completely wrong. And I'm not sure why that is, but they are. Not like 10 watching. Which is good. Daz says, hi Dan, hi Daz. Well, another wonderful night we've had tonight, Daz. Where is this hand meant to go when you slide raised leverage? Well, the rules are rules, aren't they? And until that actually gets addressed properly, they're never going to change it. Edward says, Joey Davis. What are you going to say to that, Joe? Legends, all of us. Yes, says the boss is less than half full tonight. 25, I believe. and 168 at the game, more than I thought would be there. When I thought, oh, there's only 25 on the bus, I thought we were going to be. The handball law is a joke. Needs to be changed in the summer. Oh, most definitely. You know, when Appleton got asked about Lewis Soma, defender from Lincoln, said he's available, so fingers crossed. I'm really not sure on Mr. Appleton at all right now, but you know, well, you know, it's up to him to turn it around, because nobody's going to sack him, are they? He's not. He's stuck at the club for the foreseeable future, without a doubt. So if he can bring him in, bring him in. But if you're going to bring him in, play him. Offensively, we were better tonight. Tuff was going forward. All there, that is an issue. Eddie says, Isaac Lee's my favourite player. Blimey, he's got a favourite player and he hasn't kicked the ball yet. Go, Edward. I'd have sacked him ages ago, even with these new signings. Yeah, I think I would have as well. I think I'd have been saying, sorry mate, but you got to go. But the question is, and the question we got to keep saying, who are we going to bring in? Cheer up, I'm so close to getting a point against Fleetwood. Can Joe play football? Can you play football, Joe? No. He tries. At least we saw a goal. Well, I'd rather us have not seen a goal tonight, and it would just have been an earned point. And you know, we need points make prizes at this level, especially when you're struggling. A point is like gold dust right now for us. So you know, if we'd have got a point, we'd have been jumping about and saying, we've struck gold. It's gold. No, I don't think we'd be saying that, but and Tom, well, Thomas is still in hospital. He's actually in Birmingham at the moment, so very poorly, but seems to be getting better. His blood results have come back improved, so hopefully Thomas may be back. Maybe, fingers crossed, at the weekend for the Barnet game, if he's out of hospital. We'll see. Slightly improved today. Last minute penalty, ouch. Oh, last minute penalties are always ouch, aren't they? When you slide, block momentum takes you. Raise your arms for support. Poor decision by the referee, who thought missed quite a few things. Well, to be honest, you know, a few things were said about a refereeing from a Wolves fan who was watching the town game tonight. A Wolves fan from Telford, and another lad that was neutral. They said, oh, she's bad. She left at Exeter or something. And I thought she was all right at first, you know, let the game flow. Gave us a few decisions, which is always nice, because not many refs do that. But in the end, it doesn't turn out too good, does it? Daz D. Joey Davis. Keep saying your name, Joe. Edward likes you, Joe, I think. He's your friend, isn't he? Be on his bike, won't you, Ed? Going like mad. I saw him one day down the pavement outside Own Bargains. Anyway. TV viewing you see a different perspective of the game, of course, with the luxury of replays. Is Joe a good boy? I think he's been a good boy recently, yes. He's been a very good boy lately. You know? Hasn't thrown any tantrums for over a week, if you know. You know? Does like to throw saucepans at me sometimes, doesn't he, Joe? Just missed my head the one day. Don't wind him up. Gets angry. He's not weird. How dare you say that, Edward? Naughty saying that about poor Joe. He said you're weird. Joe said Appleton out, Parish out, Judson out. There we go. I think Daz has just answered everybody's questions. Yeah, all three. I think.
Bailey said that Saturday.
Well, Bailey said Saturday that he went on a big rant about in hospital with Thomas Ed. But this is about football, Ed. We're not talking about family life. Bristol Rovers versus Newport on Saturday will be an interesting one. Well, yeah, local derby. I imagine that will be quite feisty. You know, I suppose that's Bristol Rovers. Apart from Bristol City, that would be their main derby right now, wouldn't it? Ed, I'm going to have to block you in a minute if you keep mentioning things about the family. And I don't want to do that because you're a good kid, but don't say things like that. It's not nice. Said Tom was weird. Appleton should be sacked tonight, but it's not going to happen unless eight years ago we were standing tall amongst giants. Just wait for our team. It's okay, Ed. Accept your apology. Yes, the legacy should have ended right there and then, shouldn't it? The club should have been put up for sale, I think, in 2018. He'd have made his... the money would have been made back. The club would have been more viable. It looked a great proposition, especially anybody watching that Charlton game and won that playoff semi-final. You know, I bet there was people rubbing their hands together saying that if they knew that the club was up for sale at that point, and that is when it should have been sold. But you know, things, the club could have grown so much from then, right then, at that point. If it had been sold, we could have been a well different proposition, maybe even in the Championship, if the right person had come in and said, right, here you go, here's your dough. Because it was a proper game, wasn't it? You think back to that Charlton game, you know, the atmosphere, the noise on the day, the intensity, the pitch invasion, and that was the peak. Yes, we had 2 promotions, but since I've started going, I was only 2 in 1979, so I'd never remember getting promoted to the level that is the Championship now. You know, and I never remember, you know, I was just too young. I mean, even when I was 7, I was more interested in dinosaurs than football, and that's a fact, and trains. Might sound a bit odd, but that's what kids do, don't they? I didn't really take any interest in football till I was about 8 or 9. And then, but since I've been watching Shrewsbury Town, the pinnacle, apart from getting the promotions, winning that playoff final, obviously in the National League was great. winning the league was great. Getting promoted another 2 times under Turner and Mellon was great. So the promotions and the championship win, going to Wembley, yeah, they're all great. But the pinnacle of me watching Shrewsbury Town was beating Charlton over 2 legs and getting to that final. And we should have really took it to Rotherham in that final. And if we'd have won that, that would have been the pinnacle for probably everybody. Because obviously it's a lot harder to win leagues these days with all the money and all that that's thrown into clubs to get promoted, and that, you know, that would have been the pinnacle. Getting promoted to the championship would have been the pinnacle in that playoff final, but we didn't. So the pinnacle was obviously getting to that final and beating Charlton over 2 legs. And that was because I believed we could beat Rotherham in that final. I believed that we owed them one from Wembley in '96 when we lost that Checker Trade final, and I believed that we deserved to beat Lincoln in the Checker Trade final that season, but I really thought we would have beaten Rotherham in that final on the day. And of course we owe Rotherham one for the League Cup semi-final defeat in 1960. So, but our record against Rotherham, this is a funny one, is better than their record against us. Overall, we have beaten Rotherham way more times than they've beaten us. But the 3 main times, the 3 most important games against Rotherham, we've lost all 3. So, when the chips gets to the crunch, we can't beat Rotherham in those big games. Well, we can't win at Wembley, full stop. But anyway, back to it. Do we want to go through a great escape season? Exeter away, 2000. Now that was something else, wasn't it? But I don't want to experience that really again. I don't want it to get to that. Although, if it needs to get to that to stay up, then obviously. But that week was so horrible. It was less painful when we knew we had been relegated against Carlisle. That was less painful than that week leading up to the Exeter game. So sometimes getting relegated is easier on the out ticker and the mentality than it is going to the last game. Anyway, so where is it all going to go? Let's have a little look. Who's saying what? Oh, we've got a few coming up. I've missed all these, see? Oh, and Thomas has logged on and said, hi Dad. Hi Thomas. I've been following since 1974, said Andy Street. I've seen it at West Ham, Newcastle, Leeds and Chelsea. Yes. And those were probably massive games. Now, for me, when they were in the second tier, it didn't seem a big deal. So I didn't have that feeling. Because that's when I first experienced Shrewsbury Town. They were there. It was normal. You know, when you're a 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, you know, you're talking those years, 84, 85, 86. You're talking about that to me was normal. That was a normal thing. They were a second division team. So getting back to it would be the pinnacle for me, because that would be the experience of getting to that high, if you get what I mean. So I missed out on 79. Remember that 10-year hiatus from around the age of 10 in 1983. Yeah. I mean, the Everton game was great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed, you know, Swansea when they were Premiership. Who was the last Premiership club we beat in a cup competition? Was it Swansea? Were they the last Premier League opposition we beat in a cup competition? No, Leicester. So, you know, you beating the likes of Everton, then a decent Swansea and a decent Leicester team was good. You know, was the game good before the pen, says Tom? It was very tight, condensed and scrappy. There wasn't a great deal in it in terms of end-to-end stuff, although Cambridge were slightly, they were better. They did have more shots. They kept possession better, but we battled harder. So in theory, we worked harder than we did. We worked harder than we did on Saturday, you know, and by that we worked harder as in concentration. Mentally we worked harder. We got it right. Alright, I didn't miss much the last 2 games then. Well, Thomas, you've missed 7 goals. Newcastle away, got 29,000 fans at St James's Park. Remains our biggest attendance win ever. Yes, it is indeed, Daz. I remember adding that to the Wikipedia page, that the biggest crowd we've won in front of is 29,000. And I remember putting it online, I think, against, if we'd gone to Sunderland and won, that it would be bigger than that. But yeah. And we've played in front of, I think, 15 times we've played in bigger crowds than 29,000 and haven't won one. But we have had a couple of draws. I think it was 40,000, obviously against Wolves in that FA Cup quarter-final. Josh will probably be kicking off. A good job to go. 0 shots on target all night, mate. I didn't even look on flash scores. Yeah. I reckon we'll play a team in front of 33,000 and win that. At some point. What's the odds on that? Might as well make a joke about it. Everything else seems to add to that number, doesn't it? So it's really there at Newcastle, and they just like bump the figures down a bit, just gain a bit of extra cash. They used to do that a lot in the 80s. So I hope we beat Barnet, otherwise we'll probably be relegated. Well, I think there are 3 other teams as poor as us. 4, I think. I think Barrow were very poor as well, weren't they, really? You know, if we'd have nicked a win tonight, we'd have gone above Barrow into 19th. So there are 5 teams that are all pretty crud. And those are Barrow, Crawley, ourselves, Harrogate, and Bristol Rovers, and Newport. So yeah, that's right. Newport, Bristol Rovers, Harrogate, Barrow. There's 6, isn't it? That's 6. Oh, no. Yeah, 6 teams. 6 teams, equally poor. So any one of those 6 will go down. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, Bristol Rovers away. We have picked up results there, but our problem is we seem to get refs that don't like us, or maybe give us a bit of cash. And anyway, I'll say less about that. Maybe we get the odd dodgy ref, I don't know. We know they exist, don't we? It just depends who they are. Right, so it's coming up to, it's midnight. Barnet and Barrow must win. Yeah, well, we got to beat Barrow at home. We beat Barrow at home, we go above them, don't we? So Crawley away. Yep. We've won there, didn't we, last year? Where else is there? Newport away. That could be the one. We don't need Trevor Kettle for the next 10 games. Yeah. So like, yeah, we got Newport away. We got Crawley away. We've got Bristol Rovers away. We got Harrogate away. 5 must-wins. Yep. No, we haven't got Harrogate. We've played Harrogate twice, so yeah, we've got 5 games. 4 games left against the teams around us. Barrow at home. Who else we got at home? We got Bristol Rovers away, Newport away, Crawley away. So yeah, there's only Barrow at home. We've got to get them away wins, haven't we? It's going to be hard. It's loud there, you can hear lots of going. Is it windy in Birmingham? Yeah, 15 points. I think relegation to the National League, you normally need over 42 points round about. Sometimes it's 45. On occasion it has been 50. Well, yeah, that's probably the amount of points we need. And where are they going to come from? We only got that many last year, didn't we? Well, last year's team was better than this year's. In theory. Could you see this team this year beating Wrexham and Birmingham? Nope. This team that we've got now could not do that. So that goes to say. Is Joe there? Say hello to your brother, Joe. Hi, said Joe. Joe says hi. No, so I don't know. Where's the points coming from? We got Cheltenham at home. Who else we got at home? Swindon, Walsall, Crewe. Are we going to win any of them? Are we going to win any of those? You don't have a cannula in, Tom. Oldham at home. I think we could beat Oldham at home. We should have beaten them away. Tranmere at home. Yeah, we've got some good away followings actually coming up, so maybe our own crowds will go up a bit. Might get up to about 5,500 on average. I'm sure Tranmere will bring over 1,000. Oldham will bring over about 1,000 or so. Swindon will bring the 1,600. They'll sell out. Walsall will probably sell out the 1,600, won't they? Who else we got? We got Notts County. They'll sell out 1,600. So we've got some big games at home. Some real big games. And if you can't get up for the big games at home, then what's the point? We'll see what our metal is really made of. I mean, I was disappointed with Chesterfield's crowd. I suppose it was the week before Christmas. I was disappointed they didn't bring more. They brought, what, 900 was it? I thought they'd have brought well over 1,000 considering the home gates that they get there. But they didn't. But I'm pretty sure Tranmere will bring over 1,000. Oldham will bring about that. And you're looking at Walsall, Newport, Walsall, Notts County, Swindon. They're going to sell out, aren't they? So be interesting to see if any home support comes out and says, right, well, because that's what we need now. We need those to come out and back us that were here a couple of years ago that haven't been here. Because that ground's a lot more effective, as we know, because we beat Birmingham and Wrexham at home with 8,000-9,000 crowds, and that's what we're going to need. We're going to need the 8,000. It does make a big difference in that stadium. It's not like the old Meadow where a big crowd used to be kind of against us in a way. When you used to get 8,000 plus at the old Meadow, it used to be kind of against us a little bit. Amazing what some investment does. Well, yeah, absolutely. And then again, it's the right type of investor. The investor that is a face, that is famous, that can go out into the community. I mean, the ratio of men and women at Wrexham is more equal. There's just as near enough as many women go to games as what there is men at Wrexham games. Obviously because of them, because of him, and it's taken off in a way, and it's become, well, basically that's what's happened anyway. They've sort of, the ratio of women attending Wrexham games is huge compared to most other football league clubs, and that's why they sell out every week, because they make it a family deal, a family thing. And I suppose that's what we need. We need a face. Now, I'm not famous enough to do it. And then again, if you've got someone who's famous, who has links in Hollywood, they're going to have links to big brands, big things. United Airlines, sponsor. TikTok, sponsor. Wrexham have gone from local company Ivor Williams Trailers to United Airlines, the biggest internal airline service in America. There's no comparison. So that's how that works. And then obviously you'll get more local businesses taking interest in putting money in, and you'll have more national and other international businesses wanting to put money in. Why? All because this person, Mr. Reynolds, was famous, and that's it. And of course, most people from Oswald Street now will laugh at Shrewsbury Town and jump on the train to Wrexham and go and watch them, aren't they? The majority will. As where 5 or 6 years ago, those floating sort of people from Oswald Street would come and watch Shrewsbury Town. We've lost a few of them, haven't we? Those that But do you really want them anyway, floating fans? No, you want your hardcore fans that are going to be there every week and not mess about following a local team because it's successful. The same things happened at places like Ellesmere and Whitchurch apparently too. I wouldn't worry about transfers at the moment, Thomas. I worry on our country. We could easily fall out of the league and become non-existent, a falling football team impacts the towns, businesses, than most realise. Oh, massively, Dad. And this is the problem, right? The people in Shrewsbury do not, the majority of people in Shrewsbury do not fit the current thing. They do not fit the current standard of wanting a football team. They probably see it as something that downgrades the town, in their opinion. That's because we got a split type of you have rich people and you have poor people, and you don't really have that much in between. There's no link, is there? Shrewsbury's that type of place. It takes a lot to go out and win a fan base over. It's easier to do in a working class place like Mansfield or Chesterfield, even though that's a little less working class. But you know, these places, they're selling out. Chesterfield's population is identical to Shrewsbury. They're getting nearly 8,000 a week. They're getting over 8,000 every week. So you know, you check it out. Something that we're doing wrong, isn't there, in our town, or something wrong with the people in our town for not wanting to come out? Because in all these, Stockport's another one. Stockport have been doing well, okay, and they've struggled, but they come out and they supported the team. Oldham now getting decent crowds. Tranmere now getting decent crowds. They're all these places. Are we a bit behind, a bit backward? You know, Carlisle have had 2 relegations in a row, and their crowds have gone up. Marginally a bigger place than Shrewsbury, a little more isolated, but come on. So, at the end of the day, I keep saying it, I've been saying it for the last 10 years. People in Shrewsbury need to come out, back the club, use it or lose it. At the moment, the current trajectory, as we could be on the verge of losing it, and it's a scary thought. Well, yeah, Daz, now there's no flower show in town. Where else are the tourists going to come from now? Oh, they might come and have a look at the new Lord Hill column for 5 minutes, but just pass through and have a look at it, or the Quantum Leap, or Percy Fowler's Garden, the Dingle, something like that. Other than that, once they've seen it once, what's there for them to make them want to come back time after time? There isn't really. The shopping's suffered, but then again, not as bad as everywhere else in the country. So that's one thing, you know, they got their unique, we got our unique river loop, haven't we, and all the independent shops and things like that, and the market, all, you know, and the ghost trails. So we have still got the tourism. We've lost a biggie in the flower show though. But the football club, yeah, it does bring people into the town, especially the higher up you go in the league. I think the city of Swansea made how many millions when they first got in the Premier League, and it absolutely helped rejuvenate the whole city virtually within a few years. You know, it changed the aspect. They had money spent on it, and so yeah, going up the leagues and staying in league football at least, you know, does keep the tourism flowing. Do I think the move from Gay Meadow had a big impact? No, because at Gay Meadow we never averaged more than 5,000 ever as an average, not since the very early 80s when we were in the championship or at championship level. Overnight we started averaging over 5,000, so the new stadium worked in that way. We averaged over 5,500 up until between 2007 and 2018, and then since 2018 we averaged over 6,000, so it had actually grown, and it went down a little, but it was still over 6,000 last year. But this year it's dropped to 5-1, which is still higher than we ever had at Gay Meadow since the early 90s on average. So there's your answer. No, the new stadium hasn't impacted the club's fan base. It's actually grown it. So Appleton should have had enough. You couldn't be asked putting the youth team, or I don't know, Tom. Isaac England wasn't even on the bench. No. I hope his team today doesn't get played every week. Well, no, he keeps changing it, doesn't he? I don't think he knows what his best team is, Tom. In fact, I don't think he quite knows exactly what he's trying to do. I think he's just trying to find a way. Now we're relying on the gods to help him find a way. Maybe one more signing in before the window goes. Another creative player is probably needed. I think we got enough defenders now. There's no point bringing in any more defenders. Not now. You know, you got to work with what you got. We've got too many defenders now, haven't we? I think the main thing is now we need someone. Yeah, well, that's the one. That's another defender though, isn't it? That's another defender. No, Bailey de Pepper. No, he's not joining. He's injured. If Stubbs leads. Yeah, Bailey de Pepper's injured, mate. He's not joining. He would have been a good acquisition, to be honest. Might have added a bit of creativity to bite in the midfield, a bit of energy, but nope, not happening, I don't think. But that's what we need. We've got to somehow find a way of keeping possession. I don't think that style of play has been developed well enough. If Stubbs leaves, individually we have very good players, however Emma is frustrated because he keeps playing. Well, Klukas played well in midfield tonight. Well, he added the bite, didn't he? But it's still, something was lacking still, and it was going forward, there's no doubt about that. We attacked better on Saturday, but definitely defended better tonight. Ruffles did alright on the left. Yeah, Ruffles is okay. We need a centre half with pace. Well, I think that's what the two centre halves we've brought in are supposed to do. Going through the tall. on the M6 toll, so we're not far from you, Thomas, at the moment. Who's on the bus? Not many. Me and Joe. We have a famous face on the bus, though. Austin Powers is on the bus tonight. Say hello to Austin. Go on. There he is, Shrewsbury's famous new Austin. Say hello, Austin.
Hello.
Yeah, there's only about 25 on the bus tonight. Well, I like having these lives now. It's good. I'm not getting any.
Just seen the highlights
Yeah.
now, and you can't do nothing about it. He slides it with his arm in the air.
Yeah.
So I don't get how it's a penalty.
You don't think I haven't seen it yet.
I've just seen the highlights now. He slides in, his pretty much his left arm's in the air. Like as you're sliding anyway to block, your arm's gonna go in the air. And then, yeah, that's going for penalty for it.
I haven't seen it, so. That's nice of you to come and explain it to everybody watching live online.
How would it got on?
It's jumping between 13 and 18, and then it goes 17, and it goes 20, and then it goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it jumps. So, say hello, everybody. There's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few. Well, and I just click back on that one and say hello. Yeah. Very special guest all the way from America.
Wish I was.
Well, yeah. There he is. The world famous Austin Powers, the international football fan of mystery. Oh, I do wind him up. Oh, yes. I must admit, yes, that guy you just seen is the original away day sleeper. He's gone down now to talk to Busy. I mean, I could actually go down and chat to Biz, but I think he'd get very upset. Maybe. Oh, don't I put that old camera on me out, lad? He'd be like, he's sleeping at the moment. I don't know I don't think he's had any sherbets though tonight. Nope. I don't think he's had any. Get Austin to put some money in. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe he can go back in time and raid what was his name? Gold members' bank account. Apparently there was nothing he could do about the penalty. He slid in, but his hand was up. Busy was on the TV at least 5 times. Tell him to put down them programs. What we got here? Tell him to put down them programs round the ground and hand over some wads of cash. Well, yep. Not allowed to sell programs no more. He's just got to. He makes loads of money on the programs, doesn't he? No. Where are we? We're I think this is the M6 toll we're on. So we're not too far from home now, I don't think. Signpost for Telford, so no stops on the way home tonight. Put it on the page. Put what on the page? What have I got to put on the page, Thomas? I'm not quite sure. We're down. Oh, we've only got 5 watching now. People have got bored. Don't blame you. It is late anyway, and it is kind of bedtime. Is your mum awake, Tom? Someone put a pic on the page. I saw Podge on the TV. I meant that. You saw Podge on the TV. Where did you watch it? On your phone? Oh, back up to 9. Did you watch it in the hospital? Nice chatting. Enjoy the rest of the journey. Daz is off to bed. Good night. Daz. I don't think we are having a stop tonight. I think we're going straight out. So, what could I have done with her? Mind you, I had a German kebab at a service station. I saw some Podge on the camera. So yeah, me and Joe tried out this German kebab sort of restaurant thing. What would I say is the best pub in Shrewsbury? The best pub in Shrewsbury. I don't know, because I don't really go out drinking that much, but I do like the look of the Moose pub as you come up Castle Street, but it's probably burnt down after the fire today, because it was along there somewhere, wasn't it? The dog's gone loony because I'm not at home. Oh dear. So the best pub in Shrewsbury. No, there's that many. There is that many pubs in Shrewsbury. Blimey. The Henry Tudor's quite a nice one. I know the Djurgården fans from Sweden loved that place. They absolutely filled it out. They made a right mess in town, did the Djurgården fans, when they played TNS, because TNS used obviously Shrewsbury Stadium in the Europa Conference League. And yeah, the Nag's Head is okay. Wouldn't do any of the spoons. I like the Moose Bar. I think it's just as you come up from. It's got like a moose. It's like a Canadian themed bar, and it looks really cool. So yeah, those are sort of out the way. Mike Harris social media. Well, Mike Harris is making a point, I think, and he's a successful guy when you look at what he's actually built. Yes, he merged two teams together, but they were two teams that weren't going to go anywhere further. Lancet and Fried weren't going to go any further, and neither were Oswestry Town were about to go kaplunk. So merging them together, yeah, it annoyed some people, but what else are you supposed to do? Lancet and Fried couldn't expand and make more money, could they, to keep themselves going? Not at that level. They'd have had to drop down the league, so basically they ended up going back down leagues and starting again, but they got a nice stand out of it. Still got a club that represents the village, still playing a standard that was decent, but obviously they couldn't expand to compete, could they? So they had to move out that current guise of them to Oswestry anyway, if you actually listen to what Mike Harris said about that. But he's straight out, he's opinionated, but he tells you how things are, and I kind of like that. I'd rather somebody tell you what's going on at the club than hide away and not tell you. So I'm going to give you a breath of fresh air, something different, and bring a bit of comedy value. As long as he ran the club okay, I'd have no problem with it. Yeah, Henry Tudor, hole in the wall. Try the hole in the wall, that's pretty good. There's loads of like little pop-up beer tap bars. Claremont Social. Oh, down by the river. Used to be the Proud Salopian, but it's now called the Salopian Bar. It's all been done out over the years and expanded a bit, and seems to be a good little place to go for a beer. But yeah, the little Moose pub, and then there's next to a sort of authentic pizza parlour called Dough and Oil, which is kind of different to normal pizza parlours. So it's next door to that, and then opposite that you've got a couple of, well, if you come out the train station and you go up Castle Street, you've got like quite a few different sort of, they're like little pop-up tap bars. They all seem pretty good, and I've never been in any of them, but they're all supposed to be rated. They always seem to be busy during the weekend and sometimes during the week at night. Then you have all the pubs in the west end of town, so they're your club places. The Armoury, it's good for food, have a beer in there. The Admiral Benbow and the Coach and Horses. They're sort of out the way, not far from Coach and Horses and the Admiral Benbow. They're not far from they're virtually in the town centre, you can walk to them. Cromwell's another one. There's that many bars and pubs. There's probably about 50 or 60 within the town centre loop itself, within the river, all within walking distance from 5 minutes in each direction. There's probably about 50 or 60. Gotta be. There's absolutely loads. There's another one just in the market hall. There's a couple of bars in the market hall, believe it or not, that a couple of pubs that brew their own beer and stuff. Even in the market hall, they've got like 2 pubs inside it. Go in the market hall, check it out. The Exchange, Oppen Friar as well, down at the bottom end of town. They've got that's sort of not far from the Nags Head. Then you jump over there, you got the Crown Colum, and then you got the Crown. There's loads of it. Just walk through the town and go looking. There's too many for you to go and point in every single one. There is literally too many. Loads of old ones, loads of quirky ones, loads of new ones, loads of pubs galore. It might as well be called Pubsbury, not Shrewsbury. If you actually go into town, and if you went there years ago, it'd be even more. But yeah, Pubsbury. They want to do a festival, don't they, in Shrewsbury? Just change the name of Shrewsbury for one weekend to the Pubsbury Festival. There you go. That'd be quite amusing, wouldn't it? Well, it probably would, wouldn't it, as a tourist attraction? Pubsbury. Was at the game tonight. Some fight shown from the team, but just not good enough. There's no quality, is there, really, going forward? And if we do go expansive going forward, we get caught on the counter attack, and that's where it all went wrong against MK Dons. We got battered because we got counter attacked, and it was a 50-50 sort of possession based game anyway. I think they had slightly more than us, but when we did go forward, they really just when they counter attacked us with pace, cope with the pace. So that's why I'm hoping that the younger, fitter, the centre backs that he's brought in can do the job. Lee can do it. Wolves normally needs the quick. Stubbs a little bit slower. Anderson's just too slow. Boyle probably not up to it, but if you've got at least one really sort of fast defender for the future to make it going forward, it's about grinding out results, points, and staying up. And if we can do that, then next season should be better. Should be better. Yeah. Oh, I'm a creative person, you know. I don't just do vlogs. I'm what they call the local think tank. People come to me for ideas all the time. It's just come out my head now. Shrewsbury Festival. Yeah. Why not? I think it would work. Well, that's Shrewsbury Beer Festival, but why not have another beer festival at a different time of year and call it Shrewsbury Festival? Or, you know, it's just some t-shirts, Shrewsbury Festival, and then underneath have Shrewsbury. I don't know, there's like loads of things you could do. Appleton needs to pop off. Yeah. I think well, what do? It's catch-22. You bring someone in now and they've got to learn a whole new way of playing, haven't they, the team? I really don't know what the answer is. I think it's just stick the team in, grind out whatever points we can get, hope for the best. Because I think changing it now, unless we bring in one, unless you bring in Sam Allardyce or someone along that style of play with who can do it and has done it before, got people out of scrapes. I think he's only failed once, and that was at West Ham, I think. Something like that. But, you know, Big Sam, you just cost too much. But that's the type of manager that we need right now to the end of the season. Is Appleton that? I don't think he is. That's my honest opinion. If we're going to change the manager now, we need to bring in someone like Sam Allardyce along those lines. We had the chance, Steve Evans. He went to Bristol Rovers. But then again, not even he's doing it there, is he? At the moment. But he would have been that type of manager, wouldn't he? Who else is that type of manager? Someone just say Duncan Ferguson. Maybe not. Untried, but did all right at Inverness. Kelly didn't do too well at Forest Green. But forward thinking, if we do manage to stay up, I would say cheerio to Mr. Appleton, and then I would, money, depending on the money, I'd go after someone like Darren Ferguson, who is proven with Doncaster and Peterborough that he can do it at this level and the level above. Just a thought. I don't know what everybody else thinks. Shrewsbury Beer Festival attracts hundreds. I've got another answer for that one. It attracts hundreds, but why can't it attract thousands? Now that would be better, because then every pub would have to be in on it, wouldn't they? If it could attract thousands. Think big. Hey, what you saying? Down, barely any chance he would. I mean, Darren Ferguson is an excellent shout, but that's what I mean. You just wouldn't want to come here in February, would you? You'd want to bring him in and say to Mr. Appleton, sorry mate, it's not working out. See ya. Your win ratio wasn't good enough. And then bring him in May before someone else does, because I think we'd be able to afford him. I think we would, and I think he'd be the right guy with the right contacts, with the right method, and I think it would be a good fit for him too as well. Because when it comes to like training grounds and facilities, it's all there for him. Obviously, he's going to have links to Manchester United and Wolves, both on the doorstep, really. Out less than 35-40 minutes to Wolves, a little over an hour to Manchester, but the contacts are all there, and they're all within a working day's, half a day's distance to go there, sort something out for a couple of hours, and then come back. Same goes for like we should be into every pocket of every team in the Midlands and the Northwest. We should be, your Liverpools, your Evertons, your Man Uniteds, your Manchester Cities, even your Championship clubs, your Blackburns and your Prestons, anywhere that's within an hour and a half away, we should be like looking at them all. Wolves is a great one, but Villa we've had contacts with. Slabhead, I don't know. You can make your own Slabhead Maguire. All you're going to do is buy a cardboard box and put it on a 6'4" person's head, couldn't you? There you go. You have your very own. You don't need to buy the real one. Maybe not. Box head. Me and my humour, Harry Maguire might not be happy hearing that. Don't tell him, please. Just joking. Do you think Arrogant are as good as Dan already, and it's now just trying to avoid the second one? No. And until we're clear of both of them, I don't care. This is a 6-horse race, and the top 4 horses ain't going to get put down after the race. That's it. It's a 6-horse race, and there's a prize for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. If you're 5th or 6th, the horses go into the vet being put down because it ain't good enough. That's the way I see it. It's a horrible way to talk about it or say, but that's my feeling. Yeah. Well, we're nearly in Shrewsbury. I've been talking since about, how long have I been on here now? 1 hour 20 minutes. So I've had 1 hour 20 minutes chatting away, and it's great. I actually like these lives more than the vlogs sometimes. Especially when people come on and they interact and they ask the questions, and I just say, well, I think you. I'm not always right. I'm never going to always be right. I'm going to be right sometimes, but most of the time it's just my opinion, and that's what you get. And I like answering questions. Anyway, and I got a bit of humour as well, sometimes. Anyway, we're coming up to Telford. Somebody's coming around with a bag for a collection for the driver, so yeah, good night everybody. We're nearly home anyway, so don't forget the vlog tomorrow. It'll be on about tea time-ish, as I normally say, and catch you all next time.